The police were on hand in commendably short time. A Ford sedan full of them, two on motorcycles, and a patrol wagon with about 8 in it, and a few reporters. They began banging at our front door. Flashlights short streaks of gleam up and down the walls, across the yard, down the walk between our house and boat wells. Open up, cried a hoarse voice. We are men from headquarters. I wanted to go down and let them in. Since there they were, but my mother would not hear of it. You haven't stitch on, she pointed out. You would catch your death. I wound the towel around me again. Finally the cops put their shoulders to our big heavy front door with its thick beveled glass and broke it in. I could hear a rending of wood and a splash of glass on the floor of the hall. Their lights played all over the living room and crisscrossed nervously in the dining room, stabbed into hallways, shot up the front stairs, and finally up the back. They caught me standing in my towel at the top. A heavy policeman bounded up the steps. Who are you? He demanded. I live here, I said. The explanation is, the police, they have come on time. At the time what happened? They have informed. That's why the police came on time. That is a prize worthy. The entire family is appreciating the police that they have come on time. And also, how many persons they have come means a Ford sedan full of them. The Ford is full of policemen and two on motorcycle. Two of the policemen, they have come in that motorcycles, and a patrol wagon with about 8 in it. And also a patrol car also came. In that 8 persons are there in that car. And a few reporters, they have come to that place. Immediately they have reached. That is a prize-worthy thing. They began. At last, what they have done? They started banging. What's the meaning of banging means? Hitting the door. Whose door? Arthur's door. Because they only has made a complaint. They are going on hitting the front door. And all the policemen, they are having their flashlights, that is torchlights in their hands. They shot lighting of gleam up and down the wall. They are focusing, they are showing the torchlights up and down the wall and across the yard, and also the place between Arthur's house and neighbor who is living in that neighbor place means Borewell is there. They are showing the torchlight between the two houses. Why they are showing the torchlight means they are going on searching the burglars. That's why the police is in search. Now what happened? Open up, cried a hoarse voice. A rough voice came out of the home that opened the door. We are men that we have come from the headquarters. The policemen are saying that we have come from the headquarters. Please open the door. But here Arthur wanted to go down and let the policeman in. But as they were, mother was standing there. Mother is not allowing the Arthur to go down and open the down. Yeah, what is the reason means? At the time, the Arthur is wearing only the towel. That is the reason the mother is not allowing to go down. And not only that, you have not wore the dress and you would catch your death. Because who is there, we don't know. Because the doors are closed. If you get down and open the door, surely you will die. It's better you don't go. Who is threatening means mother is threatening the Arthur. I wore the towel around me again. Now what happened? Finally, what the policemen they have done means they are giving a heavy blow on the door. Now they are trying to break the doors. And not only that, what happened? The wood pieces and glass pieces of the doors are breaking into pieces. Why? What is the reason means the policeman is giving the heavy blow on the door. Now what happened means their lights played all over the living room. Now the police, they have got inside by breaking the doors. Now where the lights are focusing means focusing on the living room. Here the police have got inside by breaking the door. Now the rays are falling on the dining room and also the living room. Now what happened? Hallway, shot up front stairs and finally up the back. They saw me suddenly. They caught me standing in my towel at the top. At the top of the stair, who was standing means mother, and also the author Herman was standing there. And a heavy policeman bounded up the steps, came in the steps. Who are you? The policeman has started inquiring, who are you? He is asking to the author. He asked me. I lived here. The author is saying that I have been living in this place. This house belongs to me. The officer in charge reported to mother, no sign of nobody, lady. He said, must have got away. What was he like? There were 2 or 3 of them. Mother said, whooping and crying on slamming doors. Funny, said the cop. All your windows and door was locked on the inside tight as a tape. Next, what happened? The officer saw the mother and also the author, Herman. The policeman is reporting to the mother. What lady? Lady here refers to the mother. See, he is asking the mother, no sign of anything. No one is here. Must have. How you have to read that word? Must have got away. You should not read. Must have got away. The mother is saying they might have gone away. Must have got away. And what was he like? You should have to read what was he like. How he was looking. The burglar, how he was looking. The policeman is asking. There were 2 or 3 of them, mother said. The mother is saying, who is inquiring? The policeman is inquiring. In charge of that police, the mother is saying 2 or 3 persons are there in that place, and whooping means shouting. Who are shouting means the 2 or 3 burglars are shouting and carrying on slamming. What is the meaning of slam? Means closing door. They are going on beating the doors, closing doors and making the noise. Who is making the noise? Means here the burglars are going on making the noise. Who is giving this explanation? Means mother is giving the explanation. Who is inquiring? Means the police officer is inquiring. Funny, said the cop. Cop refers to that policeman. Funny thing, I am not able to trust your words. What is the reason? Means all your windows and door was locked. That has been locked. How the policeman, they have got inside the house only by breaking the doors, not by opening. Only by breaking the doors they have got inside. That has been locked inside tightly, not only the windows, doors and everything that was shut inside as a thing. We are not able to open the door. That's why we have broken and we have got inside the door. Like that the policeman is explaining to the mother. Downstairs, we could hear the tromping of the other police. The police were all over the place. Doors were yanked open, drawers were yanked open, windows were shot up and pulled down. Furniture fell with dull hums. A half dozen policemen emerged out of the darkness of the front hallway upstairs. They began to ransack the floor, pulled beds away from the walls, tore clothes off hooks in the closets, pulled suitcases and boxes off shelves. One of them found an old zither that Roy had won in the pool tournament. Look here, Joe, he said, strumming it with a big paw. The cop named Joe took it and turned it over. What is it? He asked me. It is an old zither our guinea pig used to sleep on, I said. It was true that a pet guinea pig we once had would never sleep anywhere except on the zither. But I should never have said so. Joe and other cop looked at me a long time. They put the zither back on the shelf. Now what happened? Downstairs we could hear. Now they are in upstairs. Arthur, mother, Herman, they are in the upstairs. Downstairs, they could hear some sound. What they could hear means trombing, a lot of knocking on the doors. A lot of knocking on the doors. Who is knocking the doors means other policemen. Only the in charge of the policemen is talking with the mother. Other policemen, they are going on in search of the burglars. Police were all over the place. All over the place. Who has surrendered means only the policeman is full of in that house. And doors were yawned open. They are going on. Yawned means that is a glossary word pulled with a jerk. What is the meaning of yawn? Pulled with a jerk. They are opening the doors. Not only that, they are opening the drawers of the table. And windows were shut. They are shutting the windows and opening the windows down and up. Furniture filled with a dull hums, heavy steps. They are going on searching in that house. That is the meaning of that lines. A half dozen. How many? Half dozen, 6 dozen policemen came out of the darkness of the front hallway upstairs. In the front hallway upstairs, how many policemen were in search means 6 policemen were in search and beds away the wall and thought they are going on clearing the clouds that has been hanging on the hooks because they are eagerly waiting to catch that burglar. That is the reason. And beds away from the walls and tore cloths of hooks in the closets. What is the meaning of closet? Means a small private room. The clothes are hanging on the hooks while at the time of searching they are tearing the cloths and pulled suitcases. They are opening the suitcase and checking boxes of the shelves. Each and every shelves and boxes and suitcases are checked by that policeman. Now, one of them found an old zither. Glossary word. What is the meaning of zither? Means a musical instrument. What is the meaning of zither? A musical instrument. One of that policeman has taken that zither. That Roy, who is that Roy means another one brother. The Roy had won in the pool tournament, swimming tournament. In that swimming competition, he has got that zither. He has won that zither, musical instrument. Look here, Joe. Who is Joe means Joe is the in charge of that police. Who is saying look here? One of the policemen is saying that look here by showing that instrument. Which instrument means zither instrument. And also look here, he said by what that cop is doing means the cop is turning here up and down that zither and he is asking what is it. He asked me. The policeman is asking to the author what is this instrument. It is an old zither. Old means not new one, old zither. Once upon a time who has won that zither means that Roy brother in that tournament, that is the pool tournament, that is in swimming. And our what happened means old zither, our guinea. What is the meaning of guinea pig means that belongs to the mouse family. That belongs to that mouse family used to sleep on the zither. What the people they are doing, they will be sleeping on the bed. Nowadays, especially the dogs are sleeping on the bed. The human beings are sleeping on the floor. That has become as a modern trend. And now, the pig was used to sleep on. I said, it was true that a pet guinea pig we once had, we would never sleep anywhere except on the zither. The author is saying that used to means discontinued habit. This is semi or quasi model. It is quasi model. Once upon a time what happened means we used to have that pig where that used to sleep means only on that zither. But now author is realizing that I should not have said this truth to that policeman. He felt sorry for that and I should never have said so. Joe and the other cop looked at me long time. They put the zither back on the shelf. Again what happened? They are going on looking at the author. At last, the policeman, they kept the zither safely on the shelf where they have taken. In that, they have kept on that respectable place. Now, there no sign, no nothing, said the cop, who had first spoken to mother. The lady seems hysterical. They all nodded, but said nothing. Just looked at me. In the small silence, we all heard a creaking in the attic. The grandfather was turning over in bed. What is that? snapped Joe. 5 or 6 cops sprang for the attic room. Before I could intervene or explain, I realized that it would be bad if they burst in on grandfather unannounced or even announced. He was going through a pace in which he believed that General Meade's men under steady hammering by Stonewall Jackson were beginning to retreat and even desert. Now in this paragraph, I would like to explain no sign of anything. The policeman again saying to the mother that no sign of anything, no one was there. The cop who had first spoken to the mother, the in charge of the police, who is it in charge of the police means Joe. Joe is saying none is there, no one is there. The lady seems hysterical, somewhat not conscious. Not conscious. Who was not conscious means mother. They are all nodded, shaking their head, the policeman, but said nothing. All the person they are shaking their head, they are not saying anything. Just looked at me. They are going on looking at the mother. In the small silence, we all heard a creaking in the attic. All the policemen, they could hear the sound, creaking sound. Where it comes means it comes from the bed. What is that? Who is asking? The policeman is asking. Joe is asking. What is that? Asked Joe. 5 or 6 policemen went for the attic room. There was an attic. Who was there? Staying in that attic means only the grandfather was staying in the attic. And though before I could intervene or explain, I realized that it would be bad if they burst on the grandfather unannounced. The policeman should have entered inside the grandfather's room by permission, but without the permission, suddenly they are getting inside the grandfather's attic. He was sleeping in the bed. The sound comes from the bed while at the time of turning. Announced or unannounced, if they are entering means they have to face lot of problems. Who has decided to say this means author. Before the author is saying what the cops they have done means they have got inside that grandfather's attic, that is room. Before I could intervene or explain, I realized that it would be bad if they burst in on grandfather unannounced or even announced. He was going through a step in which he believed that General Meade. Who is that General Meade means? General Meade was an army officer who served during the American Civil War. Who was that George Meade means? George Meade was an army officer who served during the American Civil War. Stonewall Jackson was a Confederate general who fought against Meade. But what they are thinking is that they are all the men from army. They are the deserters. What the old man is thinking that grandfather is a veteran of the Union Army of the Civil War. He is a strong man. He was in the army, which ended 52 years earlier. He was in the army. What the grandfather has thought, the particular men, they are all the deserters. What they are all the deserters. What is the meaning of deserter? Means a person who leaves the armed force without permission. They are all the person, they have come from the army. That's why they are considered as deserters. That's why the grandfather has got more angry on that particular person. When I got to the attic, things were pretty confused. Grandfather had evidently jumped to the conclusion that the police were deserters from Meade's army, trying to hide away in his attic. He bounded out of the bed, wearing a long flannel nightgown over the long woolen pants, a nightcap, and a leather jacket around his chest. The cops must have realized at once that the indignant white-haired old man belonged to the house, but they had no chance to say so. Go back, dogs, cowardly dogs, roared the grandfather. Back to the lines, you good man, lily livered cattle. With that, he fetched the officer who found the zither a flat-handed smack alongside his head, then sent him sprawling. The others beat a retreat, but not enough. Grandfather grabbed Zither's gun from its holster and left to fly. The report seemed to crack the rafters. Smoke filled the attic. A cop cursed and shot his hand to his shoulder. Somehow, we all finally got downstairs again and locked the door against the old gentleman. He fired once or twice more in the darkness and then went back to bed. That was grandfather, I explained to Joe out of breath. He thinks you are deserter. I will say he does, said Joe. Now what happened? The explanation for this paragraph is, when I got to the attic, when the Joe has got inside that attic, things were pretty totally confused. The author is getting on the attic. What happened? The entire situation has been changed. The grandfather had evidently jumped to the conclusion that the police were deserters from Mehdi's army. The grandfather has mistaken that the persons are from Mehdi's army. They are trying to hide in the attic. The person, they are the deserters. They have come to that place. They have to hide in their place. That's what the grandfather has thought. He bounded. Now what happened? Moved by jumping out of the bed, wearing a flannel. What's the meaning of flannel? Means a soft woolen cloth. Jumping out of the bed, the grandfather is ready to attack the man. Actually, they are the policemen. But who has taken wrong means grandfather. Grandfather is thinking that they are the deserters from the army. They have come here to hide. That's why he has started to attack. Nightgown or a long woolen pants. The dress worn by the grandfather, a nightcap also wearing, and a leather jacket, a leather coat around his chest. He is wearing a leather coat during that time. The policeman must have realized at once that indignant, angry, white-haired old man belonged to the house. At least the policeman, they should have realized that they must have realized that the grandfather, that is the angry white-haired old man, belongs to that house, but they failed to realize that. But they had no chance to say so. But the author is not getting the chance to explain this. But now what happened? Back, the grandfather got more angry. Started scolding. What scolding? Go back, dogs, cowardly dogs, intimate, lack of courage. We have to say it as coward. Go back, dogs, cowardly dog. Roared grandfather, got angry. Back to the lines. Good damn. You should not read good damn. You have to read it as good men. Lily livered cattle, dump driven cattle. How he is scolding? Dump driven cattle. Go back the dogs. And with that, he fetched the officer who found the Zethar flat. At last, who has taken that Zethar? Only the Joe handed alongside the head and sent him sprawling. The others beat. What happened? He has started to attack that policeman severely by using that zither instrument. And also, the other policemen, they have started, they are trying to go back. And grandfather grabbed Zither's gun from its holster. What's the meaning of holster? Means a holder made of a leather for carrying a handgun. The policemen, they are keeping the handgun in the pouch like that. We have to say it as holster. From the holster, who is taking the gun? The grandfather is taking the gun from the holster. And now what happened? The report seemed to crack the rafters. Now what happened? He has started to shoot here and there. Now who has got severely injured means the policeman has got severely injured. All the policemen, they started running. 2 or 3 times he started firing on the roof of that attic. Now that was the grandfather. Again, what happened? The grandfather has gone to bed. Now only who is explaining means the author is explaining that he was my grandfather. I explained to Joe. He is explaining everything to that in charge of that police. Out of breath. He thinks you are deserter. What he is thinking means you are all the deserters. You have come here to hide in that place. He was an army man, retired army. That's why he has mistaken you. I will say he does, said Joe. Yes, he is doing the same. He is doing the same. Now the Joe has understood why the grandfather started shooting, started attacking the policemen. Now, the cops were reluctant to leave without getting their hand on somebody besides grandfather. The night had been distinctly a defeat for them. Furthermore, they obviously did not like the layout. Something looked, and I can see their viewpoint, phony. They began to poke into things again. A reporter, a thin faced, wispy man, came up to me. I had put on one of mother's dress, not being able to find anything else. The reporter looked at me with a mingled suspicion and interest. Just what the hell is the real lowdown here? But he asked. I decided to be frank with him. We had ghost, I said. He gazed at me a long time as if I were a slot machine into which he had, without results, dropped a coin. Then he walked away. The cops followed him. The one grandfather, shot holding his now bandaged arm, cursing and blaspheming. I am gonna get my gun back from the old bat, said the zither cop. Yeah, said Joe. You and who else? I told them I would bring it to the station house the next day. Now, explanation. The cops were unwilling to leave without getting anyone. They are not able to catch anyone. They are unwilling to move out of that place. Not only that, besides the grandfather. Not only that burglars and also the grandfather, because there were no burglars at all. So now what happened? Had been distinctly defeat. It was a failure for them. The attempt was failure. They have tried, but they are not able to get anyone in that place. Furthermore, they clearly did not like the house. The appearance and the present situation, the policemen started to hate that place, and I can see their viewpoint not genuine. It is not genuine because all the person they are suffering a lot. They began to search into things again. Again, still they are searching something they could get. A reporter who was there. Now the reporter also standing there and watching everything. A thin man, thin-faced man. How he is looking thin. Come up to me. I had put on one mother's dress. At the time, what the author is doing? The author is wearing only the dress of his mother. Because nothing is there to wear. In that fear, he is wearing only the dress of his mother and not being able to find any dress. The reporter looked at me with a mingled doubt. Now he has got some suspicion, doubt. Looked at me with suspicion and interest. What the hell is going on? The reporter has got confused. What is going on? That's why he's asking what is going on. What the dirt, what a story here. But the young man, tell me, but means young man. He asked, the reporter asked. Now, the author has to be frank. He has to explain what has happened. We had seen the ghost. Actually, the mother told to make a call to that neighbor, Bodwell. What she had said means, the burglars are in the house. Actually, the author is saying to that reporter who was there means only the ghost. He looked at me how? Like a slot machine. In that slot machine, what happened if they are dropping the coin? They can find out the weight or something, the result will be there. No result. That is useless machine. Useless machine. The reporter was watching there. That was useless. Totally the time has been wasted by the author. That is what the reporter is thinking. And what happened? The cops followed him. The one grandfather shot holding is now bandaged arm. One policeman was wearing a bandage in his arm. Why? What is the reason? Who has shot at him? Who has beaten him severely means only the grandfather has beaten him severely. That's why he is making some bandage on the arm. And here the policeman started cursing and disrespect word. I am going to get my gun back from that old man. Bird here refers to the man, old man. Who is saying this? The Joe is saying this line, that I need the gun. Who was having that gun? Only the grandfather is holding that gun tightly in his hand. Who is going to get the gun? He is going on asking that police officers. But no one is ready to get the gun from the grandfather. Now the grandfather again started sleeping. I told them I would bring it to the house the next day. Station. Who is giving the assurance? The author is giving the assurance that next day he will hand over the gun to the police station next day. He is giving the assurance and sending the policemen from that place. All the policemen reported they have dispersed from that place. Now, what was the matter with that? One policeman, mother asked after they had gone. Grandfather shot him, I said. What for? She demanded. I told her he was a deserter. Of all things, said mother, he was such a nice looking young man. What was the matter? What was happening there? The mother is asking what happened to the policeman. The mother is asking to the author. Mother asked, after they had gone, all the policemen, they have got dispersed from that place. Reporter also gone from that place. Now mother is asking what happened to that policeman. At that time the author is saying that grandfather shot at him. What is the reason? Means the grandfather has mistaken that he was a deserter, a person who leaves the armed force without permission. That's why he has shot at that policeman. Of all the things mother said, he was such a nice looking young man. That is, the Joe was a nice looking young man. But what to do? Unfortunately, the grandfather has mistaken and shot that young looking policeman. Now, grandfather was fresh as a daisy and full of jokes at breakfast next morning. We thought at first he had forgotten all about what happened, but he had not. Over his third cup of coffee, he glared at Herman and me. What was the idea of all them cops tarry-hooting round the house last night? He demanded. None of you bothered to leave a bottle of water beside my bed. Do you ever realize what it cost for a thirsty man to look for water in the dining room? Last night he had us there. Now in the last paragraph, that is the twist at the end. Actually, you will be thinking either burglars or a thief. Burglars, thief or ghost. You are in confusion. Now you can find the twist at the end. What was that end means? Grandfather next day, all the person, they have gone to sleep during that night. Next morning, how the grandfather is coming to the dining room for eating, he is looking fresh and in a relaxed manner. Now you can see full of jokes while at the time of taking breakfast during that next morning. What happened? We thought at first, all the person, Herman, author and mother thought, what happened? The grandfather has forgotten everything during that night, the previous night, what had happened. But he never forget anything. What happened? He glared at Herman over me while at the time of drinking the third cup of coffee. He looked at the Herman. Not only the Herman but also the author is going on looking at the person. What was the idea of all the cops? The grandfather is asking, what was the idea of all the policemen tarry-hooting? What is the meaning of tarry-hooting? Means working up. They are making a lot of noise, making in the middle of the night. What happened? Round the house last night. Last night means previous night. What happened? The grandfather is going on asking to Herman and also the author. He further told them that he means the grandfather further told them that he had to look for water in the dining room the previous night, as nobody bothered to leave a bottle of water beside his bed. Who was there in the mid of that night? Only the grandfather. Grandfather was going on looking for water to drink, full of thirst. No one has kept the bottle near to him. That's why he is coming out of the attic and going on round and round the dining table looking for water. But what happened during that time? The author was taking bath in the bathroom. By hearing the footsteps, the author has decided that it was the ghost. Suddenly the mother came. At that time, mother itself thought that it was the burglars. But the Herman and the author, they don't like to reveal anything to the mother. What is the reason means mother will get afraid if they say that it is a ghost. That's why they have let it be. The mother has mistaken that they are all thieves. That's why they are not explaining anything. That's why they have given the information to the police that the burglars are there in the house through the board well. They have informed to the police. Now what happened? Actually, who was there means only the grandfather was searching the water that previous night in the dining room. So that was the confusion made by the grandfather. That was the confusion made by the grandfather. That was the mistake made by the author. The author has mistaken that it was the ghost, but actually the grandfather was there. That is why I have given the title The Night the Ghost Got In. Actually the night the ghost not got in, only the grandfather has got inside the dining table for searching some water. I think you understand this story. It is not a ghost story. It is like a ghost story. How the author has created some interesting story only because of grandfather's confusion. This is what we have discussed the lesson. Watch the video carefully and read the lesson and understand. Thank you for watching the video.